So Flirt is a clothing boutique, and it was created actually by Jenny Gale, and she opened her first store in September 15th in Milwaukee's third store floor. And then actually, she's expanded her business since then. She opened up her second store this last October, and it was in Mequon, Wisconsin, a suburb of Milwaukee. And some key things to point out is Flirt has really great customer service and provides a variety of products. So Jenny's goals are similar to growth to Flirt's goals since she owns 100% of the business. And moving forward, she wants the first store she opened to continue its profitability, to continue doing well. And then for her second store, she wants to make it profitable within this year and work on that. And then a long-term goal is to open up a store in Madison, Wisconsin, moving forward. So the three things that make Flirt unique are its extremely great customer service, it offers unique products, and it has varied pricing, but it's all really great pricing too. So you can get things at different prices, some are high and low, but they're set really well. And then to expand this model to the Madison market.
So moving into the operations, we're going to talk about the key personnel. Jenny Gale obviously is the owner and operational manager of Flirt. She does basically everything for the business. She's the principal buyer. She manages the financing, does the advertising, the hiring, the firing, and then she also works the sales floor as much as possible. Under her is Eileen Richardson. In opening a second store in Mequon, she needed to hire someone at her flagship store to act as a manager, and that's where Eileen comes in. And then under her are 3 sales associates who all rotate between the 2 stores. These are just pictures of the facility. Sorry, it's a little dark. This is the Mequon store, and before was the Milwaukee store. So key to Flirt's model is its customer service. This kind of just details what happens when you come into the store, but what we really just want to emphasize is that Flirt is about walking into an experience, and women who enter the store are treated like queens. And there really is a focus on establishing a relationship between the customers and the salespeople, so that when they come in multiple times, you already know them and can help on the things that you know they're looking for. Also then, is product, which is obviously important to any clothing store. The assortment includes tops, dresses, bottoms, and accessories. They're fashion forward and unique, yet bought with the Midwestern woman in mind. And then each item is only bought once, so this is really key. So each store gets about 6 of each item. So 2 smalls, 2 mediums, and 2 larges, and then when it's gone, never to be bought again. So it really adds to the exclusivity of your product. And there is a markup, an average of 55% based on cost to purchase and ship, but this varies.
Okay, just talk about the industry a little bit. Boutiques are often owned by one person with a few number of stores. So right now there's really not a lot of published data out there with boutiques, but we do know that there's 2.2 million independent retailers right now in the U.S., and then the women's clothing industry alone is a $39.5 billion industry every year, which has been continuing to grow. Just a statistic here from Women's Wear Daily, it just says that 55% of New Yorkers prefer shopping in boutiques, which just kind of confirms that the boutique industry is growing in the U.S. The customer profile, Flirt has 3 core customers. They're all females with income above the national average and extra money to spend. The primary customer is ages 23 to 40, and the secondary customer is ages 14 to 22 and 41 to 60. We did some analysis of the Madison census. We analyzed the zip codes. We found that these core customers are present in the Madison market as well, which just shows that there's a viable marketplace here in Madison for Flirt. And then the Madison market, the Madison store would be here on State Street. I don't know if you know what this is in the picture. It's on 300 or 400 block, which is where we would like to open the new Flirt store in 2014. State Street obviously is a high traffic area. It's a little bit more expensive than the Mequon and the Milwaukee location per square foot, but we feel it's the best location just because of those complementary other stores around it. The marketing, here are the 4 mechanisms of marketing for Flirt. The primary one is word of mouth. It's free and it's been very effective in the past. We have a Facebook page. They participate in the community. And then ads in magazines and newspapers. And for the Madison market, it would be Bravo or the Badger Herald to connect to the students. And then the this is just an ad that was in Milwaukee Magazine. A year ago, we do something similar in Brava or a magazine in Madison here. And this is just a table of the Madison area competition. It ranges from a low price point over to a high price point. We think that Flirt would fall right into the moderate category, just because the Madison area market right now is lacking between the discount and the luxury retailer, and we think that Flirt can fill that void. We're not really worried about the competition. We think that more is when you go shopping, you visit multiple stores instead of just one. So we kind of view it as more of a mutual beneficial relationship than as direct competition.
So looking at Flirt's strategy, we created a SWOT analysis, and we've talked about these strengths before: quality customer service, exclusivity of products, and Gail's extremely great entrepreneurial leadership. Some weaknesses are product maybe being too exclusive, so maybe a customer might be angry when a product isn't in their size and we won't be buying anymore. And then a lack of economy of scale. Some opportunities. Flirt doesn't have a retail website, so that could be an opportunity for Flirt to advertise and sell products. Expanding products offered, so they only offer clothing. They could possibly offer purses or shoes at their locations. And then obviously opening up new locations. And some general threats: shoplifting, which is a threat for all stores, weak economy, and Gail being spread too thin.
So for our financial analysis, here are just some key numbers. She has an all right liquidity, not great, but compared with the industry average, it fits kind of right in the middle. Good profitability and growth with an ROA of 47% and a sustainable growth rate of 34%. There's a cash conversion cycle of 95 days, which may seem like a lot to you, being a retailer, but compared to the other small-size women's clothing stores, it actually is 12 days faster. The biggest issue we see, though, she has a negative net balance position of $800. We'll talk about recommendations to fix that. Here is a projected year one income statement for Flirt in Madison. We were actually a little more pessimistic than optimistic, and this is also including debt repayment and expenses, so in the net income. So after that's paid off, it would increase. And then just projected income statements, including all stores. So in year 4, you see there's a projected income of $90,000 with all 4 stores open. So our recommendations are to immediately reduce inventory by at least $5,000. That will improve her net balance position as well as liquidity, and we think she can do this without risking sales, and in talking with her, she agrees. Begin looking for talent to manage a Madison location. Manager is key to operating any successful retail location. And then finally open a Madison location in August of 2014.
So if Flirt does decide to do a website, would they increase the quantity of specific products from like store to various things?
I would say yes, obviously, because it would be reaching a larger group of people, but that's like not even on her radar right now as something that's way in the future.
Can you talk about, does she use any kind of like plastic sensors or anything for theft right now whenever she retail? That was outrageous.
No, she doesn't. If theft has been a problem, she doesn't do it, just because the cost of doing it isn't worth the benefit. The store is never so busy that they're not able to keep an eye on it.
Did you look at other potential locations in Madison and compare them to State Street?
We looked
For
over-
example, Hilldale
Right.
seems where the high-end shoppers are in Madison and not really State Street.
Right, you would think that, but actually there's Karen & Co. and Bob, which are on State Street, and we also want to reach the college student market more, and that's more accessible to them. Finding a car in Madison is often very tough for people, and it's way more convenient going to State Street.
So are you convinced that the college students are going to be good customers of the boutique here in Madison? In terms of, it seems like it's a higher end
It's not. I think
boutique.
we touched on it a little bit and maybe didn't have enough time to describe in full, but the average price point I would say is about $60 $60 for whatever it may be, whereas the boutiques on average is quite higher than that.
Okay.
So we still think it's reasonable for a college customer. So we don't think, she currently in her Milwaukee store, she gets a lot of college or younger people shopping. So we
Yeah.
think that knowing that people there shop, this is even more convenient than her location is there to a college age demographic. Does that make sense? Sorry.
It seems like just kind of the nature of the business and the store, you're gonna have to have a fair amount of money tied up in inventory to maintain a physical location like that and seem like you have a decent shop. So how, do you guys have any ideas on how to reduce inventory by $5,000 without seeming like you have a ton of empty shelves or just like not a lot of product?
Yeah, in talking with her, she was comfortable with reducing it by that much because she thinks maybe she even has too much. If you could actually be in the store, you see she currently has $50,000 worth of inventory. So 5,000 is like 10%. So that's not gonna make that big of a difference. It's not gonna show that much. And in closed thoughts, like 5,000 is not that much when you're adding it all up.
One more question. It seems like a key performance indicator for retail is sales per square foot. Did you have a chance to look into that?
Yes, we did, and I don't know them off the top of my head.
We just knew that the Madison was gonna be higher because we looked at State Street, it was about 30 per square foot for just the rent alone, and then Mequon, I think it was $18. So, I mean, we just viewed it more as there'd be a lot more market in Madison with students, and that would compensate for higher per square foot.
One of the top 3 retailers in the country in terms of productivity is Lululemon.
Oh, yeah.
It's number 3 after Apple and Tiffany's. So I thought it was interesting. So thank you very much.
Yay, everyone looks happy.